Hello everybody, it's Cameron again for my second vlog on Trendy, and I'm joined by my dog, Simba. 꼬질꼬질해 보이죠? I need to send him to the dog groomers, but right now he is going to... You're already hating this, aren't you? You already want to leave. 아이고 힘들어. He gets annoyed very easily, but let's see if he'll stay right here. Let me show you, I've been teaching Simba a new trick. Let's see if he'll do it. Oh, you're already ready to not do it. Okay, let's see if I can get him to do it. Simba, bui. I'll try it again. Simba, bui. Oichi! Simba only speaks Korean. Oichi, good boy! He's so cute when he does that. Like, it's such a simple trick, but every time he does it, he just puts his little chin on my fingers like that and looks at me like, Dad, I want a drink. Dad wants a drink. Simba wants a treat. There you go. Are you gonna rest there? Today, I am going to be cooking for this vlog. And if I'm being completely honest, I live alone. I do not cook that often for several different reasons. One being here in Korea, price-wise and convenience-wise, sometimes it's better to just have it delivered to your home, but no. And the food I'm gonna be trying to make today is, drum roll, 수육, 보쌈. I don't know what I'd call it in this case. Yes, I am going to attempt to make 수육 today. And I'll tell you the reason why. Not too long ago, I went to eat 보쌈 with some friends at a restaurant, and it was more expensive than I thought it was gonna be. Because I'm like, this is boiled meat. How expensive can boiled meat be? But it was quite expensive. And so today I thought, you know, I'm gonna try and make it. And I'm gonna get some knowledge with this. I'm gonna get an education. Because either A, I'm gonna find a way to eat 보쌈 수육 cheaply, because I'll make it myself, or I'm going to learn why it is so expensive when you go to eat it out at a restaurant. All right, that is today. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting this vlog, I don't even know the recipe. I didn't even look it up. So right now we are going to look together and see what recipe might be available for 수육. Because I know it's not just boiling the meat. I know you have to put something in the water so that it flavors the meat in a certain way. I don't know what those extra ingredients are. So let's look this up. I found a recipe. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not, but we will see. It takes an hour? Yeah, I guess if you're boiling the meat, it would take like an hour. Okay, 돼지고기. What kind of 돼지고기? What type of pork? Figured out, maybe 삼겹살, I don't know. 양파, 파 흰 부분. Ah, just the white parts? 통마늘, I might have that. 된장, you put 된장 in 수육? 생강진액, not 생강, 생강진액. So some type of extract, ginger extract? Do they sell that? Is that a thing? And 물, okay, I have water. So among the things, 돼지고기 I do not have. 양파 I think has rotted by now, so I'll probably have to throw it away and get a new one. 파 흰 부분, I do not have 파. 통마늘, I might have some whole garlic, but I'll need to check and see if it's still okay. 된장, I have 된장 in my fridge, but I think it's like 3 years old. So probably gonna have to buy more of that. 생강진액, I'm going to have to go to the supermarket and probably ask someone, A, what 생강진액 is and where to get it. And then water, I'll just use my sink water, I guess. So it looks like I'm gonna need 400 grams. How many? Oh, this is a one-person serving. So I, as a big guy, and also a big eater, and also the fact that I'll probably want to eat this more than once, I'm gonna have to, at the very least, double a lot of this. So not 400 grams of 돼지고기, probably at least 800 grams, I would say. And then you put it looks like you put the garlic in, and you have to, oh, you boil it in the 된장. It's not like a rub or a marinade or something. Interesting. 센 불로 10분. So boil it on high for 10 minutes. And then on medium heat, you boil it down for about 30 minutes. And then, oh, that's about when you take it out. You have to cut it up and then you eat it with all the delicious kimchi. Oh, I'll also have to get kimchi and maybe some sam. I'm gonna want some like lettuce leaves and stuff, some perilla leaves. That's where the 보쌈 is. You know though, I just realized one of my favorite things about 보쌈 is the, what's it called? 쌈떡? You don't get it at every 보쌈 place, but there is one chain here in Korea. It is yellow, the sign is yellow, and it has a picture of an old grandma on it. I think a lot of you know which someplace I'm talking about. And they always come with, when you get the two-person set or the three-person set, it always comes with like this tteok. I thought it was cheese whenever I first ordered it, but it's actually tteok, rice cake. Rice cake, yeah, I guess you'd just call it rice cake. It comes with these like rice cake slices that you put around the suyuk, which is delightful. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go to the supermarket and buy a lot of these ingredients because I don't have them. But honestly, whatever I would have decided to make, I would have to buy a lot of ingredients because I really don't have anything in my house. So I'm going to have to look in my fridge, see what is available, make a shopping list, and then we'll head to the supermarket. Da, 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 da. It is not clean. I wanted you to see the real state of my refrigerator. So here we are. The things that I use this mostly for are yogurt and 탄산수, carbonated water, and yeah, that's about it. Alcohol storage, which I have some like sake, I have some soju. Ooh, this might actually go well with the suyuk. And then I also have here an entire range of things I've used like once or twice. Let's see here. This is doenjang that I got as like a gift. And as you can see, it is almost completely unused. I have used it a couple times, but it expired last year. Oh, this is kind of squishy. I have like an Asian pear in here that I can't use. I really am just gonna have to buy everything new. Ooh, is this an onion? How old is this onion? I think that's still usable. When did I use this onion? I don't know, but I have half an onion, but I need a whole onion. I have some kimchi, which was gifted to me. I don't know if it's good. I made some, I don't even want to show you that. I have some strawberries. These are good. I know I just bought these, so, but I don't need those. So right now I'm heading to a kind of big supermarket. It's a chain supermarket. Unfortunately, the kind of smaller neighborhood market that was near my place closed a few months ago. Economy's not doing great. So there's not really any other good place that I know I'm gonna be able to get all of my ingredients except for here. So we will see. Hopefully they will have a bit of a discount. It's not too close to my house actually. So anytime I do go shopping here, I have to make sure not to buy too much because it's also a trip back home. But there have been times that I've bought too much, it's been too heavy, and my trip home has been quite the workout. We're gonna go see if we can get all those ingredients for this suyuk. We are in, gosh, I am not actually that sure about where everything is. It was a little shocking the first time I came to Korea that some of the supermarkets are several floors where I'm from in the countryside of the US. Everything is one floor. Do I need milk? No, I don't need any milk. We're gonna head down first and get all of our fresh produce. The only thing I think that I really need that isn't fresh produce is that extract of ginger extract, and then the, I can't think, oh my gosh. 정신없어요. So we're gonna go down first and get all of the fresh produce, and then after that, if it's not down there, I'll have to go to a different place to get the ginger extract and the doenjang. That should be down there. It's probably with the fresh produce. I'll ask if I don't know. Okay, so let's get the meat first. First, see if there's any sales. Oh my gosh, look at this. That is a lot of tepe samgyeopsal. That's huge. So the recipe I looked up, it just says 돼지고기. I guess I'm just gonna use samgyeopsal, pork belly. I feel like it needs to be like 통삼겹, like it needs to be uncut pork belly, not this pre-cut stuff. So that when I'm boiling it, it goes better. But all I'm finding is the cut variety. 네, 안녕하세요. 혹시 통삼겹이요? 아, 여기요? 얼마예요?
한 그릇 평균에 21,000원.
수육 만들 거니까.
이런 게 맛있어요.
아, 진짜요? 어, 네. Okay, so we got the samgyeopsal, the pork belly. She's really nice. I told her I ate a lot. Hopefully that'll be enough. This looks good. This looks fine. I'm eating by myself. I don't want to buy too much because if it ends up being not good, then I will have wasted a lot of money cooking really bad suyuk. Ooh, yes, we need some. This is what we're getting. So we're gonna get modu sam. Gotta have this. Need some pa. Pa. Paparazzi. There's yangpa. I need 1 onion. That's a lot of onions. I don't need that many onions. And the same thing with the pa. I don't need that many leeks. That's way too many leeks for me. We're gonna have to find the place where... So the thing about Korean supermarkets is that a lot of things are sold in amounts that are very large. Like, there's these, the seesongi bosot, there are 7, 8 seesongi bosot, and I live alone. I'm not gonna be able to eat all of those by the time they go bad. They do have these like value corners or like small amount corners. Where is it though? This is what I'm looking for. Just 2 onions, not peeled yet. You wanna touch them though. Wanna make sure they haven't gone mushy. But they're still kinda hard, right? These 2 will be fine. Oh, let me have pop. I have to use the white part for this recipe, so I actually want ones that have quite a bit of white on it. This might be good. This looks like my number one. To be honest, unless there's a particular reason, I prefer the white part of pa. I think that's the tastier part of the pa. Do we have a winner here? That's a lot of white. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. That's a lot of white on that pa. I'm gonna use the white part on the leeks, and I guess if I make eggs in the future, I'll use the green part. Okay, and now I need garlic. I want just like a whole clove of garlic. I don't want it already peeled. Look at this. There's so much garlic in this. I just want ooh. Here we go. 된장, 통마늘 있고 파 부분 이렇게 양파, 돼지고기 있고. 오케이, 돼지고기, 양파, 파 흰 부분. Get 통마늘. Get 된장 and the 생강치nek are the only things. Oh, and I have 쌈장. I need kimchi. I wonder if they have that kind of radish kimchi that I always see them putting with 보쌈. 보쌈에 mucho. Am I singing too much? So I don't actually, what is the name? What is the name of the kimchi that you usually eat with 보쌈? It's not 묵은지. It's not 총각 kimchi. So many choices of kimchi, and I don't think any of them are the ones that I need. Buying from here might be the better choice. Maybe a little fresher. All of these panchan. Ooh, is this what I'm looking for? Ooh, is this it? Is this it? 물말랭이. Is this what you have? I think this is what you have. It kind of looks like it. I think this is it. I'm sure it'll be good. We'll get it. Now we are in the sauces section, and I'm definitely seeing signs. Here we go. Of doenjang. Is there more? This cannot be all the doenjang. Come on, Korea. This is healthy doenjang. And it's reasonably priced. It's like a third of the price of everything else. So yeah, this is what we're gonna get. So I don't really know what is a good quality doenjang, to be honest. So people watching are maybe screaming at me that I should have bought another one, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buy some ginger. I'm gonna cut it up and we're gonna call it a day. Because I'm not like a chef anyway, and I don't actually know what I'm doing, I don't think having exactly the right thing is going to affect the taste of what I'm making. We're just gonna go back down to the fresh produce section and just get regular ginger, hopefully in a small amount, because I don't use ginger, so I don't wanna buy a ton of it. I could just like make it into a tea later, just like steep it in some hot water and make some tea. We have found it. I think it's really funny that it's called 흑생강, dirt ginger. I know it just means that it's like pulled out and hasn't been washed or anything, but translating directly into English makes it sound rather unappetizing. They would not be able to call it that if they wanted Americans to buy it. I know what they mean, but it's just a funny way. You'll see that for like I think they do it for like 당근 as well. 흑당근, I think. Just means like we pulled this out of the ground and did nothing to it, which is probably better because like whenever you wash vegetables, it kind of quickens how quickly they go bad. Strawberries or whatever. Strawberries already go bad quickly, but if you wash them, you kind of have to eat them pretty quickly. I don't know if there's like a coating on it that like gets removed that allows them to oxidize and rot faster. Castella. I'm in Castella 와요. So while I'm going back up, I'm gonna do one final check of my shopping list to make sure I have everything. 돼지고기, check. 양파, check. 피흰 부분, check. 통마늘, check. 된장, check. 생강, 진액, well, we just got 생강. And then 물. And then 쌈. We're good. Good to go. I feel good about this. So I'll get home and then we'll start the process. And yeah, it'll be ready for dinner, I think. So that little shopping trip already put me back 50,000 Korean won. So starting to show that, you know, suyuk is not cheap to make. Granted, I like bought some items that I can use quite often, like the doenjang or whatever. Not that I probably will. So at least from a monetary aspect, it might just be cheaper to eat at the Busan place. Plus, I've already shopped. Now I've got to cook it, eat it, of course, and then I'm gonna have to do the dishes. I think I've already realized I don't know if I'll be making this dish very often. You know, the experience will be good. Okay, that was enough socializing for me for now. All I needed was a few minutes talking to those ladies in the grocery store, and I'm fine being alone for the rest of the day. Before I start cooking though, I'm gonna take out this stuff, like the meat that probably needs to go into the refrigerator. I'm going to give my dog a walk because he is probably about to pop. He needs to pee-pee. And then I'll be back to get started on dinner. Okay, so I was looking at some different recipes online and some of them said I needed to soak the meat first, which doesn't really make sense because I'm gonna be boiling the meat. Why would I need to pre-soak the meat? But it's to get out the 핏물, right? To get the blood out of the meat. I guess better safe than sorry. I will say culturally that I think that getting the blood out of the meat before you start to cook it is more often done here in Korea than it is where I'm from. There are some recipes there, sometimes I guess you would do it, but for the most part, we just cook the meat, you know? I don't know. I don't know how, and I don't know how much it changes the flavor either. I've filled the bowl with water, so we'll see if any blood comes out. So I'm currently going to peel all of this ginger, and I think I'm gonna put it in first so that it can boil for an extra long time. Since I couldn't get the extract, I feel like I'm gonna need to boil it for a long time and put a lot of it in so that ginger flavor really comes out, which is fine. I love ginger, so if all of this pork ends up being super gingery, I'll be perfectly fine with that. But one of the things that I learned that culturally is a little different here in Korea. So let's say you are on a diet or you're meal prepping or whatever the case, but you're boiling a lot of chicken breasts. I did not know, and I actually still don't really understand, don't really feel it, but a lot of Korean people say that chicken and like chicken breast has a smell. I don't smell it. So what a lot of Koreans will do when they're boiling their chicken is they'll put like bay leaves in, or they'll put, what else would they put in there? Maybe they'll put like whole peppercorns in there. And they say that it gets rid a little bit of the smell. I just don't smell it. I don't know if it's a biological thing, but like in the US for the most part, when I wanted to boil chicken, I just boiled the chicken. Maybe like if I was gonna put like salt in it to season it, that would be a different story. But like if I just needed boiled plain chicken, I wouldn't add anything to it because I wouldn't smell any of that smell. But I mean, all of my Korean friends say they can taste the difference. So it is what it is. I do it just in case now, but I do think culturally, food-wise, that sense of a smell, that like tamne or whatever, that kind of, I don't know, depending on the food, it can have a different smell, right? I feel that Korean people are much more sensitive to that. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a cultural thing, but it is interesting because I would say most Americans probably don't notice it unless you're particularly like a foodie, someone really into food. Me, I don't care that much. I will say the opposite though. It's kind of like that thing where certain cultures are sensitive to certain like flavors. I know like Americans that come here, they're much more sensitive to spicy like gochugaru, like the red pepper that we have here, or garlic, which I eat so much garlic, but some people are really sensitive to it. Oh, you know what? Another thing? This is one that I find really surprising. So this one doesn't affect me, but there are many people in my family that cannot eat white rice because they say it has a smell. And I have no idea what they're talking about. Other than like a rice smell. They say it's not the smell of rice. Like it's some smell that they don't find appetizing. And I have no clue what they're talking about. And I don't think Korean, like I've never heard a Korean say, oh, rice has a smell, other than like, oh, it smells like rice. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe there are just people that are much more sensitive to those types of food smells than me. I mean, I ate a lot of white rice too, so I'm gonna make some in just a second after I get this garlic boiling. I keep saying garlic, I mean ginger. I will be making some rice in just a second after I get this ginger boiling. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. It's like that thing like with like cilantro. You know, some people really love cilantro, some people hate it, and it's kind of based on like your DNA. Where do you smell? How does your brain perceive the smell and the flavor of cilantro? I don't know. I love cilantro. Okay, let's put in that ginger and some boiling water. And we're gonna let this, oh gosh, I'm spilling water everywhere. We're gonna let this boil on high for a little while I do some other stuff, just so we can really get all that nice ginger flavor out. The people that cook a lot, maybe they're saying like, no, don't boil ginger forever. It's gonna like ruin all the flavors. That might be the case, but I do not know. What do we think of my pot? I bought it because it's quite beautiful, but I never use it. I was influenced by an influencer. I don't get to use it often, so I thought I would use this as an opportunity to cook with it. I don't know if I think we're good. I think we're fine. Let me get that water. Oh, I turned it off. Look at me. Already a mess in the kitchen. My mom always said, clean as you go in the kitchen, and I'm not very good at that. Okay, we got that ginger boiling. It's gonna boil for a little bit while we do some other stuff. Okay, while that is boiling, I'm also going to make some rice in my fancy new rice cooker. I had a rice cooker for like 8 years, and the coating started to come out, so got a new one. So this is how I usually do it. I usually make at least 3 at a time. Make sure to don't eat that. And I put 2 cups of regular rice. And then I put 1 cup of brown rice. My favorite is to mix it up like this. I like to see it swirl around. I love the feeling of rice running through your fingers. I don't know what it is. It feels, I don't know, it feels, even though, like I didn't eat a ton of rice in my childhood, but it feels like something in my childhood, like playing with sand or something. It feels very good. And then the final thing I do is I actually put a couple of pieces of tashima into this. I saw my homestay in Japan, the okasan, my mother at my homestay in Japan, she was doing this. I don't know if there's an actual reason for it. I don't know if it's like a texture thing or some type of like mishin, some kind of just like old wives' tale or thought or superstition, or if it's a nutrition thing. I guess like tashima has good stuff in it, so it can't hurt it. I've done it ever since then, so I don't know, we'll see. So this is my new papsot. This is my new rice cooker. It is so loud. It talks so much. I'm sure there's a way to turn off the voice. I haven't really looked at the manual, but it talks so much it's kind of annoying.
작고 쿠쿠가 맛있는 취사를 시작합니다.
I'm not really seeing a lot of blood. I don't know, I guess I'll just kind of leave it there until I'm ready to put it all in, but yeah, that's really not doing much. Let's get this out of the way and let's start cutting. We've got some cutting to do, yeah! So the good thing about this recipe is it looks like there isn't a ton of cutting going on. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, I'm just gonna do the minimum as far as getting all of this garlic and stuff in the pot. This is like the most annoying part of the entire process. You know how those like older women, they'll have like garlic peeling parties? Maybe it's not a party, but you often see it in like restaurants. You just have all the ajumas getting together peeling garlic. It is so frustrating. Why can't they just make garlic with edible skins? Or like skins that taste good? This is such a laborious process. Are you having fun watching me struggle with this garlic, everybody? I love the flavor of garlic. Do not like all the processing it takes. Oh, look at that. The monari garlic. Now let's move on to the onion. So thankfully, I mean, the onion, we only have to do one layer, right? That'll make things a little bit easier, I hope. Why is it always so sticky? Always gross. Yeah. I've doubled the meat, so I should probably double the onion, but I'm not going to because I put a ton of garlic. So I think we'll be okay. Oh, careful, careful, careful. That's not gonna be enough water. Okay, we did that. Now we need to use the white part of the paparazzi. So I'm gonna wash these and then I'm gonna cut off about. Is this too much green? Like it says use the 흰 부분, so the white part. Okay, this is the obvious white part. When does it stop being white? When does it start being green? I'm gonna say here. Pop those in. Probably just stir that a little bit. It's starting to smell in a good way. Okay, let's take a look at the meat. I see like no 핏물. It's been in there for about 15 minutes, which, no, it's been long. Yeah, 15, 20 minutes maybe, which is, gosh, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just gonna dump the water. Let's look at this. This is 866 grams of pork. And the recipes I've looked at, they said if you don't like the pige, the pork fat, that you can get rid of some of it if you want. I say just eat it. That's the most flavorful part. I'm not scared of pork fat. People say there's like collagen in it and there's like vitamins in it. I don't know. I just know that it tastes good. What I am gonna do though, so these two slices are pretty good size. I'm gonna cut off, I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna cut off about this amount and I'm actually gonna cook it separately. This is gonna be Simba's posam. This is gonna become Simba's snacks later, his high value treats for whenever I train him. Sometimes I'll add a little bit to his food, because he eats like a dog food. Because I don't want him just eating dog food, but I also know that just eating meat is not good for a dog. So I try and like mix it. Dog food, meat, a little bit of vegetables. Maybe I can show you that sometime. So I'm gonna put all this in. Is my pot too small? It is a possibility. All right, time to put in the doenjang. It says put in 2 spoons. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I'm doing more than the recipe, so I'm gonna put in a third for good measure. Yeah, I can already tell this is gonna need to be mixed. That is going to be cooked on high for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take it down to about medium low, and cook it for another like 40 minutes. So we got a little bit. I need to set a timer. Okay, it is now time to dig in, but we have one more thing. Posama always goes with soju, right? And I usually don't drink soju by myself at home, but this magically appeared. I think someone brought it for like a house party and then we never drank it. So now I have a bottle of soju that I can drink with my posam. It's a really nice little I've never had this before. It has a really nice little label to it. We'll see. This looks like really fancy soju. So we're gonna have some really fancy soju with hopefully some good tasting 보쌈 as well. But me, because I'm a little neurotic sometimes, every meal I have, it doesn't matter if it's Korean, if it's American, if it's Italian, if whatever it is, I always have to start with whatever the most plain tasting carbohydrate is. In this case, it is the rice. And I just have to have a bite of it. And then my last bite will also be that same carbohydrate. I don't know what it is. It's just something I've done since I was very young. And with Korean food specifically, it gets a little more complicated because the order is whatever the carbohydrate is, in this case it's rice, but if it was potato or french fries or whatever. So the carbohydrate, then I go to the soup, whatever the soup is. In this case, I don't have one, but if it was, I don't know, like a miyeokguk or whatever, I have to have one bite or one serving, one drink of that. Then I have to have the kimchi, have one bite of this, and then I can move on to the rest of the meal and eat the rest of the meal. But then, whenever I am almost finished, I leave one bite of every single thing on the table, and then I eat them from the things I liked least to the things I liked most. Sorry, this gets complicated, but this is my personality. So at the end, there's one bite of everything left. I eat the thing I liked least to the thing I liked best, but then the final three have to be in this order: the kimchi, then the soup, and finally the rice or whatever plain tasting carbohydrate is left. It has to be in that order or it just doesn't feel right. And if there's something like sunyung, even better. Love that. I do the whole process and at the very end I get a nice little like palate cleanser. That's what I do. I don't know how curious any of you are of that. That's not an American thing. That is a me thing. Americans would look at me and think I'm a little weird. But I'm curious if you have anything that you do during mealtime that's kind of like a routine or a ritual that other people might think is weird. Let me know down below. So now that I've done that routine, we can finally get into the piece de résistance, the main event. It's now time to try this bossam. So I'm gonna go with a leaf. I want something that has about an even amount of fat and meat on it. So I cut these really, really thick. So I'm gonna go with this piece. It's kind of a big piece. I'm gonna go with that. Put that on. Get a little bit of samjang. I love samjang. There's some type of magic that happens with samjang. It just makes so many things taste so much better. I'm gonna put this on. So I just took that bite, right? I'm pretty sure this is not the right type of kimchi. This is mumalengi kimchi. I know that with bossam you also eat some type of mu kimchi, but this is not the right one. It is too hard. It is spicy, and I feel like the one that usually comes with bossam is a little sweeter. And then finally, we have the rice. So this is what it looks like, everybody. We're gonna see if I can fit this all in my mouth. I know I can fit it all in my mouth. It's not a mystery to me. But you get to watch me stick it in my mouth and then chew it for an inordinate amount of time. Sim is passed out. He is in no way interested. Ah. Kids, don't try this at home. I bit off more than I can chew. But it's good. Oh my gosh, I'm a little bit surprised. It's better than I thought it was be. I thought it was going to just taste like boiled meat, but there is actually quite a bit of seasoning. I can taste the doenjang. I can taste the garlic, that's for sure. I can't taste much of the ginger. I really do think I needed that ginger extract, unfortunately. That was good. I will say though, it is not as 쫄깃쫄깃하다. I feel like sometimes it's a little chewy when you get it at the restaurant, like chewy in a good way, you know, because it's a fatty part of the pork usually. It's got that really nice chew to it. That is another thing culturally I think is very different. In America, when you're talking about meat, you often talk about it being tender, but culturally, we almost never want foods to be chewy. And it's something that's like super sought after for certain things, certain like duck you want to be chewy, right? Americans usually don't like a lot of their foods to be chewy. And so my sister, we were eating something that had duck in it, and she had a really hard time with it. She said it wasn't the flavor. She said it was strictly the texture. It felt like, her words, not mine, it felt like she was chewing on this bottom part of her ear, and it really kind of freaked her out. That's her. You know, not everyone's gonna think like that, but I love duck, by the way, but it was something I had to learn to love. I, as well, when I first was eating things like tteokbokki, had a little bit of a hard time because there's the duck and then the omuk, the fish cakes. Those are two textures that many Americans don't have on their dinner table. When we have meat, we like it tender or tough. Like sometimes we want something like meaty, like a steak, but rarely something like this, I feel, that can have a little bit of a chewier texture. Anyway, no, I just got it all over me. It's fine. We'll just have some soju and forget about our worries. What is this? It says soju. This is 44. This is 44% alcohol. Do y'all see that? Can we see that on the camera? This is not soju, this is vodka. It tastes fine. You know, I drink vodka and I was not expecting to have a whole shot of vodka. Let's continue on. Speaking of Americans eating Korean food, this is something that isn't super common in the US. When we have things like lettuce, we have it like in a salad or on a burger or something, in a taco. And I guess lettuce wraps are a thing that we do get sometimes. They're usually pre-made and brought to the table, but I say that. Everything I say, you have to remember, I'm 36 years old and I grew up in the middle of the United States in Arkansas. So my knowledge is based on people, of my generation that grew up in the middle of America in the 90s and the 2000s. If you lived in New York, if you lived in LA, obviously you're gonna have a much better access to different types of foods. So a lot of what I say is very strictly that middle of America, traditional white American diet and what people are used to. But anyway, so I had another American friend come and we were eating, it was something with sam. I think it was probably just like samgyeopsal or something. It wasn't posam. There was a really famous movie that came out in 1989, 1988. It's called The Land Before Time. It's a little children's movie. It's about dinosaurs. And what happens is the leaves on all the trees go away. And they're the type of dinosaurs that eat leaves. And they called the leaves tree stars, what they call them. They didn't have the word for leaf. And so they go on a journey to find more tree stars after the last tree star was eaten. So me and my friend the whole time, we just called the sam tree stars. And then someone ate the last tree star and it's like, oh no, Bigfoot, that was the last tree star. And then I would be like, oh, we can get some more. This is so not interesting. I'm sorry, I'm a boring person. I spend so much time alone. I entertain myself, but even when I'm telling stories, I realize that they're not interesting. But once you start a story, you know you have to go to the end, right? The idea of sam, when I first came to Korea in 2015, was a little different for me, but quickly fell in love with it because it is a great way to get a lot of leafy, greeny vegetables into your diet. That's not a salad. I mean, I love a good salad. It can be a little boring, let's be honest. Cheers. Where'd it go? You know, I was about to say, I would make this again, except thinking about the price, the meat alone, this alone was 3만 won, right? Then we have the vegetables and the kimchi and the samgyeopsal, whatever. The price, I guess, is kind of comparable to what you'd get in a restaurant, kind of, I'd assume, for this amount. The flavor isn't as good. Most restaurants do it better. Even the chain restaurants, I would say, do it better. It's a lot more time, though. Going to the supermarket, getting the food items, cooking all of it, and then washing all the dishes. This is the only time I will be making sujuk. Unless I just find an amazing recipe that I know will produce a flavor that I will never be able to get at a restaurant, I'm just gonna have somebody else do it. I'm gonna enjoy this meal and enjoy it for what it's worth, but if I have a house party and we're gonna get pulsam, I'm just gonna order it in. That's the way it is. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to give one cheers to all of y'all, and then I'm going to finish up all of this food, and then I'm gonna have to wash some dishes. Then after I wash some dishes, I'm gonna have to take this guy out for a walk. I tell you, being a single dog parent is not easy. Anyway, I would like to say thank you for going on this cooking journey with me as I learn how to cook pulsam semi-successfully, I would say. I would say star-wise, out of 5 stars, 3.5. Like, unenjoyable meal, but maybe not enjoyable enough to go through all the effort to do it again. You know, if someone I really loved asked me to make it, yeah, I'd make it. If it was a Tuesday and I was tired, no, never, not in a million years. This is to all of you. I hope that your language studies is going well through Trang D. It's been wonderful on the second vlog with you, and I wish you all the best. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them down below. Bye guys, cheers.